When people think of Greece, usually Athens and the islands come to mind. But in this video, we want to show you some of the highlights of Greece's best kept secret, the Peloponnese region. This region has so much to offer. For starters, here's a map of the Peloponnese region, and here are the highlights that we want to show you. The farm where we volunteered, which was our home base, was located here, and it turned out to be perfectly situated for day trips in all directions.
We're really excited to have our first day off today. We've been working on the farm for a week and we were ready to have our first day off to explore. We started our day off by going to the beach and seeing this really awesome shipwreck. Like, really cool. And now it's just wearing away and it makes for a really picturesque beach. After the beach, we went to the town of Gytheio, which is super cute. Our farm host, MALEA, recommended an amazing restaurant called Richea. We've had the best calamari we've ever had in our lives here. Highly recommend if you ever come to the Peloponnese region.
Gytheio is a colorful, modern, but classic Greek fishing town on the sea. It's cosmopolitan, yet sleepy. In ancient times, it served as the seaport of Sparta. With a view of the DIMITRIOS shipwreck, it's the perfect place for fresh seafood and a walk along the coast. Of all the ancient cities I've visited across the world, this may be my favorite. There's something that happens when you approach MONEMVASIA, and it's difficult to put into words. And maybe that's because it really feels like you're stepping back in time when you enter through the single gate. It's a place that feels real, that has not been overtaken by any Western commercialism. A place where life thrives amongst abandoned ruins, and a place where the cats fit right in. We ended up visiting MONEMVASIA twice, because there was extremely high wind on our first sunrise visit. We were unable to fly the drone, but we were determined to get the aerial shots we knew we wanted. So we returned for a second sunrise adventure, and fortunately the skies were calm. If we had more time, we'd go back again.
For our next beach excursion, we drove east over the mountain range toward a beach nestled between the high cliffs. I can't stress enough how great it's been to be in Greece after the tourist season. It's as if all of the beaches and attractions have been reserved just for us. Not that we don't want to share, but who doesn't love a private and quiet beach? This doesn't really exist back home at the beaches in New York.
In Greece, drivers often tail each other. I mean, they are on each other's bumpers. which can be risky in some areas because there are often other travelers on the road, like these guys, who may surprise you just around the bend. And there are many bends when you're moving up and down the mountains. We learned about a site called the Petrified Fossil Forest at the southern end of the eastern Peloponnese Peninsula, and were immediately intrigued. We had heard from one of the MALEA guests that there wasn't much to see at the site, but we ventured there anyway and found that there was actually a lot to see. Okay, so we didn't find the T-Rex skeleton I was hoping for, but you have to step back and appreciate what the site really is. It's an area that was covered in palm trees 2 to 3 million years ago, and the palm trunks over time were calcified by the rising sea. Now they are basically tube-shaped rocks. Some of them are hollow completely and sitting on a shelf where sea swells send spouts of water gushing through. Nothing special for some, but we thought it was pretty awesome. And we found a small cliff to jump off of and into the clear blue sea.
Another must-do when visiting the Peloponnese is a day trip to the island of Elafonisos. It's a quick ride by ferry. There's not a lot going on the small island, but there is another outstanding beach. Sorry for the interruption, but I wanted to share a funny story. Justin accidentally sidestepped a sea urchin while in Elafonisos, and I was not pleased. I was actually really mad at him for doing so. Luckily, there was a lady in the shop who came to our rescue. We asked her what we should do, and she immediately started boiling some water to kill the sea urchin spikes in Justin's foot. Pour that hot water on. Do it. Kill it. This is what happens when you step on a sea urchin. It was only about 4 small ones, so it really wasn't that big of a deal. I was just freaking out. Anyway, it was all good. We soaked the sea urchin spikes in hot water. After all of the soaking, I was able to take out the sea urchins with tweezers, and Justin was able to walk again. It was all good. Lesson learned, don't step on a sea urchin.
Just don't do it.
Just don't do it. Like he said. Or else I'll be really mad at you.
Oh no!
Just don't do it. Here we are on the island of Elafonisos, which is an island you probably haven't heard of. Ever since we got to the Peloponnese region, people have been recommending we visit Simos Beach. And here we are. We took our car on the ferry, it was a quick ride, and it's paradise. Today, the beach is all ours. In the afternoon, we found another beach on the opposite side of the island. Once again, we were the only ones there. We decided to get some exercise and went for a quick run. Before we started our year-long journey, we decided we'd try and run a mile for every day we were away. We are currently about 35 miles behind, so yeah.
The final frontier for us in the Peloponnese was to explore MALEA. We kept hearing about MALEA, but had no idea what or where it was. When we typed it into Google Maps, nothing really came up. Eventually we learned that MALEA is a large section of the Peloponnese region, and it definitely lived up to the hype. Our goal was to get to the Tenaro lighthouse at the southern tip of MALEA, Europe's southernmost continental point. As always, we chased sunsets, and although we found some rain on our exploration days, it never spoiled the moment.
This is Sparta. No, seriously. What I'm standing in front of is ancient Sparta. This place is legendary. King Leonidas and the Spartans, they owned this place. They defended it. And what you see are ruins, and like any ruins, it's not too much to see, but you can really feel that this place has stories. It has a history. It's really incredible. And we're so excited to be here.
This is Sparta!
We came, we saw, and we conquered. While we didn't see everything that the Peloponnese has to offer, we saw a lot, and enough to realize that this little-known region could be Greece's best-kept secret. The locals, of course, know this already, but we wanted to share it with you. So if you think of visiting Greece, consider the Peloponnese. It's got a taste of all the best which Greece has to offer. Legendary history, gorgeous beaches, hilltop fortresses, great hiking, outstanding seafood, and farm-to-table restaurants. The list goes on and on. It's an easy drive from Athens and all easily accessible by car.
Viv, come on, let's go, come on! Come on! Woohoo!
We had a nice seafood lunch and now we're having an Amstel and a mini banana popsicle. Yum!
Soft.
Look at that tail!
Elafonisos.
Elafonisos. Good kitty. Chocolate.
Chocolate, beer.
Beer.
And I told Vivian that before this trip is over, before the global trip is over, not just Greece, I'll be wearing a Speedo.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you haven't already, we would really appreciate if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Come on!
So stay tuned and adventure on.